Hi there, I'm Janine and this is Janine Sews. Welcome to my channel. This is Friday Sews for Friday, November 24th, 2023, and it's episode 3 for my channel. First, I want to thank Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for coming up with the concept for Friday Sews and allowing all of us to join in. There's a great community of people who sew and watch and comment on every Friday on Friday Sews, and I'm really appreciative for this community and for the opportunity to join in. Second, many people had great comments last week when I asked for critiques and ideas for my toile. Thank you, everyone. And I want to highlight a YouTube channel that I'm going to link down below that was recommended by sunshine_or-000. And that's Atelier Saison. And they have a tweed collarless jacket masterclass. So I'm going to put a link to that down below. And many people also had other good information about toiles and why you use muslin, and it's all been really helpful, and I hope that you're also enjoying the comments down below. Quite a few people also had suggestions for patterns, and we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. But first, I've recorded a little video where I'm standing up and you can see what I've done with my toile this week. This is my toile with the first set of adjustments. I took this over to Daphne's house, my sewing friend Daphne, and she did a bunch of markups on this. And if you didn't see last week's video, I cut and stitched the toile just based on the pattern. I didn't make any changes to the pattern. These are the length and shorten lines here, and these are the grain lines. Someone has suggested that I add the horizontal balance lines, and I am going to look at that. So today I took this, and Daphne started out by altering the back, and in the back she did a high back adjustment and a sway back. Then we opened up the front princess seams, and we've added in a piece of fabric here. This is just pinned, but we were trying to get it so that the apex is in the right place and the side seams stayed straight and that there wasn't any gaping anywhere, and it's pretty doggone good so far. This is the center line, and Daphne has sewn a zipper into the front of her toile so she can get it off and on easily and see how it's going to look when it's closed. I might do the same thing with this. So this has come a long way in the last week. It's two different lengths because this is the short version of the jacket and this is the long version. And I haven't decided yet which length I'm going to use. I kind of like things that finish around here so that you still see a little bit of shape, but I'm not certain yet. This week, I'm going to stitch all of these pinned in pieces in place and press it. And then on Tuesday night, we have a Zoom meeting. We're all going to show how far we've come. Then I'll make more changes, and then I'll put in the sleeves and see what happens. I probably won't get to the next iteration of this for a couple of weeks because I've got so much stuff to do for the holidays. But I'm feeling quite hopeful about this at this point. Oh, and I wore this top today when Daphne did the fitting because this is the kind of thing I'll wear underneath the jacket. In the last video, I showed you a couple of pieces of fabric and I asked for your input and ideas. Thank you so much for everyone who gave me ideas. I have not yet decided on what I'm going to use for the sweater knit, but I have made a decision about the waffle knit, and I'm going to use the Thread Theory Finlayson Sweater and make that for my husband. I know he doesn't watch these videos, so I'm not worried about him finding out. So I know that that's one thing that I've decided to make. But while I was digging around in my closet, I found another piece of holiday fabric that I forgot that I had. And this is something that I also picked up at Fabric Mart last year, I think. It's double brush poly and it's a poinsettia print. Fabric's already been cut, so this is a little piece of it, but it's a pretty and it's soft and it's warm. Now I am on a mission to make tops that give me some shape because I'm such a rectangle. And a number of you recommended patterns, and some of them I will likely buy and try. But before I went out and bought something, I thought I'd just double check and make sure there was nothing that I had in my pattern stash that I could use. And I actually came up with a pattern that I had used in 2020. It's Butterick 67888. And this is a top that has these tucks in the front. So it gives you some shape. It's not tight. It just gives the illusion of shape because it tucks underneath one bust. And I used this twice, as I said. The first time I sewed this in a cream colored jersey and it sewed up fine. I sewed this version here with the longer one, but it was too small. For one thing, I just felt that it was too close to me, especially because the fabric was quite lightweight, so it grabbed everything underneath. And you could actually see jeans through it. You could see belt loops, everything. So I wasn't super thrilled with that one. But I did make a second version that was the shorter version, and I used the long sleeves. And I made that in tan, black, brown, viscose print. And I was so happy with how that turned out. And sadly, I think, well, the only thing I can assume is that I gave it away when we moved from the States because it's gone, and I know it's nowhere in this house. But I did really like how that one turned out. Then I also said in my last video that I'm not sewing any more dresses, and well, I'm going to sew a dress because we are going to a Christmas party in a couple of weeks, and I have like 2 dresses that I can wear out to parties that are for winter wear. Everything else is summer wear. And I wore one of those dresses last year, and the other dress I was never happy with how it fit. So I decided to use that pattern again, and that is the Heart and Soul twist dress, Ellie and Mac. But I'm going to pop up a picture of me in the dress that I made last year because I wore this on New Year's Eve. And this pattern does not have finished garment measurements, so I made this just too small. It looks good from the front. It doesn't look so good from the back. It's just too tight, and the side seams are not straight. They really pull. I can tell that I need more fabric in the front. So I'm going to give that pattern another try in a larger size. And I went out and did a little Black Friday shopping and picked up this fabric at Olga's Fabric Lane. And this has at least 50% stretch always. And this is this pretty knit, swirly, which I thought would look really quite nice with the twist. So it will kind of look pretty. And I thought this was a print that could be worn 4 seasons. So that's what I'm gonna make that dress out of. And I am gonna actually line the skirt with this mesh. It's not power mesh, but it'll just kind of smooth things out so I won't have to wear a slip under it. Because this could be, I think, a little bit translucent. Last night, after I had picked up that fabric and I'd made a decision about cutting that, I thought about what I have to sew in the next month, because Christmas is only a month away. And because I'm really good at procrastinating, I sat down on Canva and I made up a little form for myself so I know what I have to sew. And I'm going to pop that up here. But I have on the French jacket. That's not due until February. The party clothes, which is the dress and the poinsettia top. A bunch of gifts that I want to sew. And then I have some things that are for winter. Things that I don't necessarily expect to make before January. That's going to be pretty much my winter sewing. And I think I have 8 things on that list that I want to sew before the end of December, or actually December, like December 22nd. And still have to do some baking, have to do cards, have to decorate the house. So I kind of have to get focused. And I know so many of you are doing the exact same thing. And I wonder how many of you are like me and you have a list of things you're planning to sew, mostly for other people, and you just cut things off. And you just say, well, I'm not going to make that this year. Or you don't make things for yourself, which is why we wind up with holiday fabrics that are unused and we're trying to use them the next year. So I'm wondering how many of you are in the same boat that I'm in, and suddenly realizing that it's going to be December in a week and we have so much to do. So life, I got a haircut. You probably already noticed that. Went somewhere different. I was happy with the cut that she gave in the color. And we got the outdoor Christmas lights up. The weather's kind of held. We've had snow a couple of times now. Most of it's melted. It was Thanksgiving yesterday. I cooked a turkey breast and I used a different recipe that was very good. I'm going to put a link to it down below. And you can take a look at it because it's just quite different. It's turkey breast, but you make stuffing with it. And you make it all in one pan, so it's quite easy. So if you're interested, I'm going to put the link down below. What else is going on? Well, I have been doing a lot of mending. My mother's clothes go to the big industrial laundry room at her facility, and I've just noticed some things are starting to look a little bit shabby. So I've been bringing stuff home. I've been washing her sweaters in my good machine and letting things drip dry and then pressing things nicely and repairing a lot of stuff because things just get beaten up. And I have to do Christmas cards. I have to decorate the house. Got lots of stuff to do in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to try to not go down rabbit holes and watch too much TV. Just stay focused. If you celebrated Thanksgiving this past week, I hope you had a really nice time with whoever. If you've been out shopping, I'd love to know what you're buying, if you're finding any great deals. If you're planning to sew things, what are you planning to sew? There's a lot going on right now. And I do really appreciate you spending a few minutes with me. As always, thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next week.